little things like you've got to find some way to be able to lock in, and just those little moments of frustration or like, what the hell am I doing here, or am I good enough? I remember that, just sitting in the car, just like, this it sucks. I hate it. I don't like it. But then come back and you just push through it. Hey, on with the next day. And those are those moments, just like Coach Burton. Hey, I didn't send him down there to redshirt, get his ass back in the gym.
Get him back working.
You need when you're just like, I really can't just drive home. I'm 2 states over, and I'm frustrated a little bit. You can't just quit. You just got to keep on pushing through.
There's moments that change for sure. I know as a freshman at Fresno, I mean, in high school, I could play, right? I was make the right play, could shoot. Didn't get recruited going into my senior year as much as I thought, and the Fresno State thing came late with Coach John Welch recruiting me. But early in that season, my freshman year, I remember distinctly, hearing from Coach Tarkanian and Coach Welch, like, hey, I'm further along, more prepared to play than they anticipated. They, instead of redshirting, they want me to play and back up. The one question mark was they didn't know if I could rebound. And I remembered, like, they didn't know if I could rebound at this point. And the emphasis of hearing that, oh, that's the one thing that I need to work on.
Yep.
I'm in the limited minutes I would play, I always got a couple rebounds. And then latter half of my career at Davis, I had, I don't know how many double-doubles, average close to 7 or 8.
Just by that little plug in your brain.
Just a great rebounder. I had good instincts, good eye instincts to find the basketball, to go track it, to tip it to myself. Always, always
slice
went
position,
to the glass.
Just those little nuances, just like slice position. It'll get you 2 extra stats, and you had 10 rebounds instead of 8 rebounds. Just that little difference.
Exactly. And that like one moment of like it being the thing that was pointed out, and it wasn't, and they changed my mentality to where every single rebound I just instinctively pursued. And those things, I think, for every guy,
there are those moments. Do you recognize them, or do you back down from them?
Yep. And so you're there. We have all this talent. You mentioned Lute Olson and the guys talking about getting off the glass. Like, what, as a team, and kind of developing continuity, obviously when you're younger and you're coming together, you're going to have bumps and bruises, but who were the leaders on that team that year? I mean, you were still new coming in.
Yeah, and I was definitely a role player. Just like if you're on a team with Kobe and Shaq, you're not getting shots, right? You're playing with James Harden or Luka Doncic, you just got to sit there and wait. And they were good players. I mean, you got Jason Terry, who I think he's third in NBA history of all made threes. You got Mike Bibby as one of the top point guards in the top 10 in the history of NBA, possibly. And it was a game. We played Utah at the Pond in LA, and Coach Johnson came to me. He's like, I don't want you to worry about scoring. I don't want you to worry about rebounding. Your only job is to never let Keith Van Horn touch the ball. I was like, let me see what we got here. And we were just trying to figure out what we could do to get the game going. And that last 25 minutes of the game, I think he had 1 point. He never touched the ball. I was like, I had one focus. It's just like you. Hey, I got to improve my rebounding. Hey, I'm going to make sure that I crash these boards, or I'm going to wait at the free throw line for those long shots, long rebounds. I think he had 3 points in those last 21 minutes. And then the other guys came in. And so you're asking, like, what was it like having those players? Like, if I'm doing my job and I'm stopping their best player, I'm stopping probably the number 1 or 2 best players in the nation that's going to be recruited, and I just shut him down and I can compete with this guy. Was I going to go and score 22 points on him? No, that wasn't my role there. But my role was to, Phil, you're not touching the ball.
Yep.
I denied everything. He didn't. He's like, his hands are in your shorts, and he just got so frustrated because I was so focused on that one thing, and that thing allowed us to win the game and come back and win. And I was just such in a zone, and my coach is like, "You're doing great, dude. Just keep doing what you're doing." At the end of the game, the coach was like, "Bennett, you got the MVP of this game, dude. You're the only reason. Like, that initial gusto got that going, so everybody else could start doing their things." And I took out their best scorer, and our other teammates' scorers came in and stepped up, and it was a good feeling. And it was like one of those things, just like you can't be the top scorer all the time. But it was probably close after that UCLA game where I was frustrated and crying, where I went to like, man, I love this game. This is I can compete at this level, and I can excel at this level also.
Finding that way to be a competitive plus in every aspect, knowing your skill set. I mean, that run, you guys obviously. I mean, look like on paper, like Miles Simon being kind of the oldest,
most
and
experienced,
returning.
well versed.
What, like, who was kind of the leader on your team, like amongst the group, like that, was with a lot of younger guys and veterans, somebody that was less, less
Miles was
heralded?
definitely the verbal leader. He had the most time on the floor. Mike Bibby and Jason Terry were the ones that just were the point guards, but they did it with their actions. AJ Bryant was a very good, he's like, yo, pick your head up. About that one guy, pick your head up, don't get down, don't show it on national television. But Miles Simon, he was one of the guys that would come in the locker room. He's like, guys, Coach Olsen, coaches, can you step out real quick? We want to have a kind of a team. He was by far the guy that gave that verbal, and he backed it up because he was and playing at modern day, he was such a solid, fundamental player of just jump stop, up and under, kind of float through off the backboard. Crazy, not a crazy athlete, but he was an athlete because his IQ is through the roof. His basketball IQ. That's why he's a head assistant coach for the Suns. But Mike Bibby, Jason Terry were the physical ones. Michael Dickerson, you wouldn't even know if he was in the locker room. Mike D, what's up? Anybody heard from Mike D? Oh, there he is right there. Never heard from the dude. As soon as the game was over, he'd just go off, and we call him. He was just the ninja. He was just in and out. You just never knew he was there. But he definitely was the guy that physically dominated and came through in so many clutch situations that it was. You just have, and you can't have all verbal people. And we didn't have some of those, the guys coming in locker room and just loud talking for no reason and being disrespectful. We didn't have those guys. Everything that we said always seemed like it had a purpose. But Lute Olson also was that coach. Everything he said, it sounded like he thought about it for 5 seconds before he said it. Where Burton's like, no. Coach Olson's like, well, I think that we should do this, and the strategy of setting a pick and roll is like he was a strategist. Strategist, yeah.
Strategist, yeah.
He's really good at strategery.
That's right. Well, when you got talent like that, it is, putting them in positions to succeed, getting them bought in, right, creating buy-in, and the concept. You mentioned a few. I mean, that run, right? Obviously, Kentucky was the your kind of the coup de grace at the end, right?
Yeah.
But on that run, you mentioned you beat Kansas and Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Shamgar with Providence, North Carolina with Vince Carter and Anton Jamison.
I did get dunked on. Real quick before you continue.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there. We used to run this play with Coach Joe Burton, in the 3 zone, and you'd come, and then they swing it around the key, and then they swing it back around, and the guy would loop around the backside, set a back screen alley-oop. I'm sitting there against North Carolina. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I recognize this play. I was like, man, I got dunked on by Vince Carter. We've all been dunked on, but that was it was bad because I was like, I recognize this play. Oh no, here it comes.
That's the word. I had a play at Davis against San Bernardino. I remember where all week the scouting report was don't get backdoored. A guy named Jonathan Levy back then, really athletic. Don't get backdoored. The coaches were like really emphatic on don't take the bait and come up the line on the screen because they'll backdoor for the lob. And I literally 2 minutes into the game, they ran the play. I took the bait on the screen, got backdoored, and I think I sat for
probably a 52 back fast break.
Yeah, it was like just oh man, those are memorable. Well, you put plenty of guys on posters, and that's post your Arizona career. That's actually how you and I first got connected, and we were all Sacramento's a hub. Thanks to Al Biancani and his strength program,
and Barnes and all those guys. Armstead, Gus.
Gus with all the workouts and the summer league, and for me that was such a great time. What's that?
March of Dimes with Mike Lorente.